to. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We are honored to have Sherry Shu here from University of Manchester. We have been collaborating for many years in terms of teaching because I give her some guest lectures in the master's degree. Recently, we've been collaborating a lot on AI and automated evaluation models. It's a pleasure to have you, Sherry. You are super knowledgeable. So I'm going to leave this to you to present the case of using AI to create real estate development appraisals.
Thank you, Maria, and hello, everyone. Welcome to the session. Today, I'm going to introduce a little bit about using AI to create real estate development appraisal in a little bit time-saving way, because usually we might spend hours doing that, but with the help of AI, we can make it a little bit simpler. As Maria already introduced me, I'll just save that part, but I put my email and link in there. So if you're interested, we can connect. Let me give you a brief introduction or picture of AI in real estate and why it matters. AI has a lot of applications in real estate. And the adoption of AI actually is growing, and it has transformative impact on the decision making and analysis. Usually we use data and information, try to keep us to do the more informed decision making and try to make analysis. But sometimes we might do this, but didn't do that. But with the help of AI, it can be more comprehensive. We can select what we need in our case. So that is the benefit. And there's more benefit in it, of course. For example, it's quicker. It just reduces the time to collect or collate or analyzing the data and information. And it helps us to visualize as well. And it can help us to create different scenarios to do the analysis, and also help us to combine the data from multiple sources to transform unstructured data into a more structured and actionable data for analysis. Even if we are not using AI to do the analysis, we can use AI to help us clean the data. So that is what I want to show today. It has different ways of using AI. It's changing the competitive landscape for real estate investors and developers, because whoever get the adoption of AI and try to utilize it can have these advantages, competitive advantages, to create more accurate financial projections, try to reduce and manage risk, improve the viability assessment for their development project or investment decision, and also they can enhance their capital allocation as well. So there are different ways of using AI, and we are going to have a little peek of it. So today I want to show you how to use one of the AI tools, which is called Claude, and to see how it works. I actually, to be honest, I use Claude quite a lot every day, just to sometimes just brainstorming. It's very useful and helpful, because being academic is quite solitary work. Sometimes you don't really have many people to discuss about. So Claude is my research buddy. Sometimes I brainstorming with Claude, but today I can show you how helpful as a tool to be used by Claude. So it is quite similar to ChatGPT. It's a more like AI, generative AI is an AI tool developed by Anthropic, and they are a team actually used to work for OpenAI, who developed ChatGPT, and is part of the class of AI system called large language models. So they trained on different texts from books, website, and other resources, so that they can understand and generate the human-like text across many domains. Right now, the version that we are using is called Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and it actually is enhanced in terms of the reasoning capability. So I feel that it's very helpful, but you can't completely rely on it. Talking about how Claude can understand property development, actually, it can comprehend some terminologies, first of all, and some concept from property development. And Claude can also recognize some metrics or KPIs, for example, GDV, ROI, return on investment, IRR, profit on cost, and etc. So all those terms that you don't have to train it again because it already comprehend from their large language model training, and they understand the development appraisal process and the methodology. It can interpret complex development scenarios and the parameters so that it's able to follow our standardized appraisal structure and conventions. If you have some customized needs or demand to write a report or to do the appraisal in certain ways, you can actually train Claude to do it in the way that you like so that it can be customized. That is why it actually very helpful, and it has the advantages to the professionals because it really save our time, and we can create or generate the table in a much simpler way. We don't need to do small things anymore. And also, I just mentioned it helps you to visualize your data if you need to. For example, to generate graphs or the figures. Usually, we have to insert the table or figures from Excel. But if you want to, then Claude can actually give you the code of from different format so that you can generate visualization of your data to demonstrate on different scenarios, different cases, and etc. So it's really very helpful, I believe. If we are looking at the traditional ways of property development appraisal method, it is how we have been doing over a few maybe decades. We usually use residual land valuation method to have a look at the residual value of the land to see whether or not this project is viable. To move it a little bit further, we sometimes look at cash flow analysis and use the discounted cash flow to evaluate the project so that we can determine that internal rate of return or NPV and etc. So we can understand a little bit more about the viability of the project, especially if the project takes a few years. We want to know whether or not it's worth doing or whether or not it's profitable to do it. And also we will look at the profit on cost or on GDV. Sometimes we say the profitability is this percentage. So sometimes it's profit over cost or profit over gross development value. And that is a very quick check of the viability of the project so that the profit margin to see very simple to understand whether it was doing or not, especially if it's at loss and it really doesn't have the value to do it further. But with all this traditional method of doing the property development appraisal, we do have some limitations. For example, time. So I need to spend some time to create the spreadsheets and to maintain the required significant effort and time, because although we might have embedded the formula in the spreadsheet like Maria usually do in her template, and I did that too. But when we change each figure, and also we need to keep our template updated, that is requiring time and effort. And also we can't just leave it there. Maybe regularly, we really need to update it. So that is the time expenses. And also we need to manually input multiple variables and formulas. And because it's manually input, so there is a chance to make mistakes. Sometimes, of course, we double check. We want to be careful, but still, there is a chance to make some mistakes. And there is extensive review needed to ensure the accuracy of each formula. And if we want to do sensitivity analysis, if we want to have a look at analysis under different scenario, each scenario requires not to rebuild the calculation completely, but we need to change the certain variables and maybe formulas to meet this requirement of sensitivity analysis or scenario analysis. And also, as I just mentioned, there might be some mistake caused by human beings manually input. And sometimes if we have different ways or different style of the appraisal, it takes time to make a standardized format, and they might not be consistent. But if we put inconsistent styles of appraisal into AI, the AI can help us to make them consistent. So we can compare and do the analysis for different opportunities. So that is where we can use AI to help us, because it actually save our time, give us more speedy, more flexible, and more comprehensive analysis. We can't completely rely on it, but it gives us more options to save time and efforts, do more analytic thing in our work. So if we are looking at what can AI do in the appraisal, it can help us to automate the financial modelings and cash flow analysis. Sometimes if we feed them enough information and data, they can also help us to do the market analysis and the price prediction or projection. And they can do some routine assessment for the risk, and also they can help us to do the sensitivity analysis for different scenarios. It can help us to estimate construction cost if we give them the code or the sources of the code, or if we just give them the cost, they can do the calculation. So without any further ado, I'd like to dive into it so that everyone can see how Claude can do this work. So let's say we have a project in front of us. We can build 20 flat units at 80 square feet each, and the total development area would be 16,000 square feet. It might take 2 years for us to build it and sell it. And the sale price after the completion, we estimate it as 450 per square feet. And interest rate, or say financial cost, for us is 5%. So what we want initially from AI is to create a very basic development appraisal. Then we hope that the AI can help us run the sensitivity analysis on some key variables to see if the sale price change, what will change. If the interest rate change, what the project will be like. Or if it takes longer, how viable the project will be, etc. And then we can also use AI to create professional looking reports from all this data. What we have from the AI, from the initial steps, are just spreadsheet, just the tables. But if we want to write it into a report, we can also ask AI to help us to draft that report to make it look professional. Of course, we can twist later. And then if we have any customized or tailored demand for the report, we can refine and improve our prompts to do it. So I'll just stop this slide and show you this. This is Claude. This is my account. I usually just type claude.ai, then you get it. And then after login, you see this is the newest version of Claude Sonnet. And what I like about Claude is that it has not only the chat, so you can just type in, the questions or ask them to do something by using this chat, but also you can create a project which actually allows you to upload or give Claude a little bit more information and background in the format of documents. And it can comprehend or understand, digest all the documents or information you provided to him. And then Claude can help us to answer the question in a much more customized way. So let's see if we are doing this. So this is what I want to do today. Property development appraisal. Just 1 minute, get my Word document. It is here. Upon the project. So here I just want to show you a bit of the product, because if we only get this much information, it might not be enough. In terms of doing the calculation, it needs a little bit more information. So we need to fit it a little bit more. For example, I chose Mayfield Regeneration Port as a site, and this Hoy Street West is for the residential, so that we can do this project. Let's assume that it's going to start by the end of this month for 2 years. And we might spend 1/4 for planning, the whole year for construction, and 3/4 to sell it. And in terms of the price, we already know the price will be like this. And in terms of selling it to the agent and etc., might cost us about 3% of the GDV. So that is quite routine. And also we need to have this information about the cost. For example, the acquisition, the purchaser's cost for the land, and some hard cost, for example, the construction contingencies, preparing the site, for example, to investigate the site. If there's anything there, we need to demolish it, landscaping, etc. There are also some soft costs included, for example, professional fees and planning obligations. So all these are the data, or say the information that we need to fit in to Claude, because it wouldn't know, especially for this site, how much you'd like to spend on construction, how much you'd like to spend on site investigation, for example. So we also need to tell the AI this kind of information. And that's pretty much the basic for this project. So I just need to save it. And then it's here, project knowledge. I upload this demo. So it tells Claude that all the project information is here. The first prompt that I want to put in is to have a basic appraisal. I already uploaded this as Claude, whether it can give me a basic development appraisal in a spreadsheet format based on the information I uploaded here. If it got this, it will start generating the appraisal. But it takes some time to complete the whole mission. So usually Claude would give me something that it wrote and also summarize it about how it's been thinking about it, how they did the analysis and etc., and a few notes about it. And also usually they would ask you what you would like to do further. They summarize the project parameters and give you the phasing, the calculation, break down the cost, and to do some financial cost, and spread the cost in each quarter, and make some financial calculations here. And it did a calculation for the project return. So we can have the profit, we can have the total cost and profit on GDV, etc. They gave us a bit of the sensitivity analysis, but if we want, we can do a little bit further. Let's see what we want to do, because it's already in the spreadsheet formula. So we want to have a look at a little bit more on the financial return metrics. Can you highlight the return metrics in terms of profit and equity multiple, IRR, and etc.? Because initially it's just a very basic one. It didn't consider the time value of the whole project and etc. But this time, when we ask, it can adjust it. So once we adjust our prompt a little bit, it can actually react or respond to our demand. And if we want the sensitivity analysis, we need to give it the scenario that we want. Otherwise, it will be very general. I'd give it the sensitivity analysis based on the price, the selling price is an estimation, and the cost, the timeline, and interest rate. So once we put this here, we are going to get into a more detailed sensitivity analysis. It tells us the impact on the different change of the different variables. So you can see that these are the sensitivity analysis. Of course, we can make it like up or down 10% or up or down 5%. It totally depends on ourselves and our decisions to suit our needs. This probability is the assumption by Claude, which is not the reality, because the probability of each scenario is based on our analysis of the market rather than the assumption of the AI. So we can't, this part, I wouldn't use it. To be honest, I would do my own analysis and tell Claude the probability of the good, neutral, and bad scenarios. This is basic, probably what I would use AI to do the development appraisal in a very basic way. If we want to make it a professional looking report, we can ask it to do it. It will turn these tables or the spreadsheet into a more professional looking report to give you the template or format that we usually use generating all this text. But again, you see, it's now just for the demonstration. But if you want it longer, or if you want it for in different format, for example, to more visualize it, and you can do it based on our needs or demand. So that is, I'm very aware of the time. So that is pretty much that I want to show you. But there's another thing that I want to remind everyone about is to be careful when we are using the AI tool. First of all, I think we all need to get started with these tools and understand the requirements of the data and how to prepare the data to feed into the AI and how to actually integrate AI tools into our existing workflows. But we also need to understand the limitations of AI tools, and we need to have another eyes on whatever AI is producing for us and to suit it in our needs. Okay. All right. So that's it. What I want to demonstrate today. Thank you, everyone. So Maria, would you like to?
Thank you so much, Sherry. It's a great demonstration. So now I am probably out of my job because I can do everything already. Oops, can you see me?
No.
I disappeared.
Yeah.
Here I am.
I can see you now.
Oh no,
No, not anymore.
no blurring. Anyways, you can hear my voice.
Yeah.
AI is great, but the technology sometimes lets me down a little bit. I am an analog person. We have a course coming up on the 29th and 30th of April. Okay, it's online course, so wherever you are in the world, you can join us online. And it's from 9:30 to 4:30 UK time. And what we want to cover in this, so we're giving a very generous 50% discount on this course, pretty much to get the momentum for everybody that is not familiar with AI to start using AI and start using it in an ethical way as well. What we call ethical is knowing what you can put in AI, how it's used in terms of processing data. I think that's a problem that everybody is asking these days, and how to deal with the whole AI scenario. And also, I think we take AI for granted all the time. So we need to know how to actually read the outputs of AI. And that's what we want to show in this course. The 29th and 30th is our next course. And then we're going to have the first day pretty much based on the introduction to AI. And then the second days, as I am a kind of like Excel geeky person. So what we want to do as well is how you're going to use AI in terms of financial modeling, like how you can use AI not only to put your data in there, putting data into AI, but actually like how you put AI into your financial models. So we need to know how to use things like VBA, Python, Java as well. But I explained to you how you go from not knowing anything about coding and with the help of AI, trying to bring this coding into your financial model. So that's pretty much what the 30th of April is about. If you'd like to know how you can bring AI into your financial models, then you can join us on the 30th of April as well. Sherry, do you mind going to the next slide, please? And I know I'm 2 minutes. Yeah, so then you can just send us an email at info@cambridgerefinance.com. Don't forget the RE in the middle, refinance.com. You can also find more information on the course on our website. Thank you so much for joining. We will be sharing this video on YouTube if you want to join us there. We're also going to run another webinar next week as well. And then that will be a little bit as well, like a demonstration on how to use financial modeling, Excel, and so on. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you so much again, Sherry. It's a pleasure. Join our courses and become an expert in investment analysis with AI, financial models, Excel, with Claude, ChatGPT, and everything else.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much, Sherry. Bye, everyone. Thank you.